Good morning, everybody. It's quite early this morning here in England. It's Yvonne Fuchs here, the founder of the Slow Stitch community. And I just thought I'd hop on and say hello because I know different time zones for all our different friends and members of this group affect you seeing this post differently. So I wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance to check in. So, how are you all doing? I'm sitting in a different room today. I normally sit at the back or in the garden, but this morning the sun is so beautiful in the front of the house. I thought I'd sit in here, and you can probably see there's a little bit of a collection going on of my lovely coloured vases. People have been asking me a little bit about my background, and I've had quite a varied background. I started my first design business in 1976, and I was studying fine art and textiles at the time. And I used to design colourways and coloration for different companies, including working for my dad many, many years ago. So I've had a life very much involved in the creative world, but always, generally speaking, the textile world. And about 30 years ago, I started teaching adults painting and drawing and segued into teaching textiles, eventually working in art schools for many years, teaching everything from 16-year-olds to postgrads. So I've been around this world a long time. But the thing that's really characterised my life is that I've always made things by hand. I've always had to have a little bag of handwork about my person. The other thing that's characterised me, I suppose, is the fact that I absolutely love all the visual culture of the world and the music culture. I've travelled a lot, and now I'm thinking of all these wonderful places you all are. I'd love to come and see you all. I'd like to sort of do a Slow Stitch Community world tour to see you. But as usual, I always like to ask you a question. And one of the questions is, how are you doing? How's the internal weather? Because as we know, our weather can be very different to the projection of the weather we have on the outside. And people say to me, how are you doing, Yvonne? I'm going, oh, I'm fine. And when I know that actually deep down, it can be a bit stormy. So it's quite good to check in with your weather. And often I find my weather comes out in my stitching. Sometimes the stitching is very calm and beautiful, but other times it's fairly random and a bit tricky, and I get knots and I get frustrated, and often it's a bit of a manifestation of how my life is. So checking in with your weather is a great thing. It keeps us in the present moment. The other thing I wanted to say is that from my travels, I always pick up great textile ideas, and I'm sure those of you who know about Japan or like everything from Japan will know that the Japanese have informed slow stitch as I teach it hugely. But when I was in Japan, what I loved were these little cloths called furoshiki cloths. And the furoshiki cloths are the way that the Japanese used to used to carry things place to place before there was any need for plastic or paper bags. And I'm going to just put one on the floor to show you, or maybe put one on my lap to show you. And this is a little furoshiki cloth that I bought when I was in Japan. Here it is. It's full of these gorgeous little drawings of the Kokeshi dolls, those lovely wooden dolls you see in Japan. And when you put things inside it, you can just carry them. Now, I'll have to do a little post separately about that because it's hard to wrap it up. But if you look it up on the internet or look up in any Japanese books, you'll see that furoshiki cloths were often made out of scraps of cloth. This happens to be a sort of little touristic one, but I absolutely adore it. So one of the things people were saying on the group is, well, what can I do with all the bits I keep making? So maybe you could make yourself a nice little cloth. And I mean, this is about, 18 inches square. So you could add all the bits of sample cloths together, and then you could wrap things in it. I will do another post where I'll demonstrate one of the cloths that I've been making in the Japanese borrow style. But that's enough for me. I don't want to bore you, Rigid, but I just love popping on and saying, hello, hope you're okay, hope you're all coping with this unusual life that we're all living. But I always send you all my best wishes, hoping that you're feeling comfortable in yourself, you're coping, and that you're enjoying how things are for you at the moment. Sending you very much my heartfelt thoughts and love, and take good care and really enjoy your stitching, everybody. Bye for now.